Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I titled this message, School on Studying the Way God Intended. School on Studying the Way God Intended. There are many children who are school age, as well as young adults and mature adults who are involved in programs to help them mentally. I didn't say spiritually, I said mentally. These programs are going to lead them to either money, reputation in a certain industry. These programs are going to equip them to help others. These programs are designed to make them better citizens, good parents one day, and so on. But if one is pursuing any type of education, he or she is also going to, at some point, come across people who are going to teach things that are not ethically right, spiritually sound, wise, and instead teach them things that are ungodly, unrighteous, untrue. Now, we serve a God, the Christian does. We serve a God who is morally right, ethical, a just God, a merciful God at times, a God that has a long history before we were even thought of building men up as well as tearing men down using Satan. Now, those who acknowledge God in their studying will feel fulfilled because they are where they need to be. If one is not old enough to understand spiritual wisdom and spiritual education and spiritual things of the Lord, such as spiritual gifts, then he or she has mentors or teachers around him or her, educators that will guide them. But sometimes people don't have that, and so they are looking everywhere but in the right place. Now, if you attend any school, you see all sorts of people at that school. You will see people who are on drugs, people who are alcoholics. I remember an uncle telling me he started drinking when he was 8 years old. Okay? So yes, this sort of thing takes place in elementary school too. You will see people doing some things that are despicable. You will hear people talk in ways that are ungodly. And you've got to fight through all of that distraction to stay focused on your studies. Because whatever your goal is in life, you know you have to stay focused in order to get that goal accomplished. But sometimes situations can be so tempting to the point where people will actually do some things. And this is where you get some of these young people who end up being teen moms and teen fathers. Okay? Now stay with me, because for some of you all, you may have forgotten about all of the trials that take place with people who are school aged, as well as those who are pursuing higher education. You may have forgot about all of the stuff that you possibly went through being in a setting that was very much ungodly. And so it's very easy to be on the outside looking in and telling people that you should, you better, you ought, and God wouldn't be pleased, I wouldn't be pleased, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to take that from you. And why are we spending all this money on education? And now you're changing your mind again. And okay, when people are in settings where there's much temptation, much ungodliness, much ugliness, there's going to be this fight within them as well as around them. And if I don't have prayer warriors around me, I don't have supportive people around me, I am more than likely going to fall by the wayside sooner or later. I remember like it was yesterday, the day that I walked into the admissions office and told them that I wanted to withdraw from college. I remember leading up to that day, how people reacted when I mentioned that I could not do this any longer, that I had prayed about it and God was releasing me from higher education at the time. You've been in school for 6 years? You sure God would tell you something like that? We get to a place where we stop wanting to fight after we've gone through so much physically, mentally, as well as spiritually. During the course of my years, I can tell you that temptation, distraction, interruption, lack of this and lack of that was starting to get next to me to the point where I felt out of control. Now, some of you all can relate to that because you remember when. And you may have even gotten through college and got through, everything afterward, but then it all caught up to you later in life through physical ailments. Now, for some of you all, you can recognize this with adults. Well, how about recognize this with children? Children fighting through sexual abuse, parental abuse, fighting through teachers and their stuff that they come up with. And then they're fighting through the bullies and, people who are on drugs and people who are alcoholics. They got their fight too. And when God gets them under his wing, there are going to be moments where people will stop being the student. They will stop attending the schools, trade schools, colleges, universities, military school, whatever. But forcibly trying to put someone in a setting that they no longer have the energy for is doing more harm than good. Sometimes all people need is just a simple break. It's not even about, I'm going to quit this thing for the rest of my life. It's just for right now. There's too much going on. One is going to cancel out the other. If you want me to go to school, but yet you're telling me I got all these responsibilities at home, including taking care of my siblings, one is going to cancel out the other sooner or later. Either me going to school is going to win, or me staying at home watching siblings is going to win. One who's being abused, either the abuse is going to win, or me continuing in my studies is going to win. I know that for some people, you are very determined to get a child through school. And that is very admirable. But when a child is showing all these signs that maybe that school is not where they need to be, maybe that teacher is not the right one for them, when the child is telling you out of his or her own mouth, and I get young people who listen to YouTube and Enterprise 7, when they are speaking out of their own mouth that I can't take this anymore, you've got to lighten up my load. Hear them. When you have a husband or a wife in a family, right? And they're going to school, but then it's getting harder and harder for them to attend. It would make sense to step up to the plate if you're the one that's not in school and do your part and show support rather than badmouth, belittle, criticize folks. School is tough. Whether you're young or older, school is tough because you got a lot of these studies that require memorization. And if you don't have a good memory, that's already going to be a problem for you. And then when you throw in all of these distractions, that also is going to hinder you. I'm hearing in the spirit, get rid of the distractions. Internet distraction. Unless, of course, you're researching material for a class, distraction. Portable devices, distraction. People asking you to do stuff that they can get other people to do, distraction. People who want you to do something now rather than later, distraction. People who have all sorts of toxic stuff going on with them, mentally, physically, spiritually, distraction. And do you really think that someone who's jealous of you wants you to be a success? And there are parents who are jealous of their children. There are husbands and wives who are jealous of one another when they start talking about things like, I'm going back to school to get my degree. I'm going back to school to learn this or do that. And it's something that they always wanted to do. Well, where'd you get the money? How you have time to do that? You got friends that are like that. Are you sure you want to do that? You know, the last time you signed up with something you didn't finish. I mean, you know what? You might want to think about that. Matter of fact, you can just give me your loan, give me your scholarship or whatever else. I know what to do with it. I mean, you got people who are going to be around you who are going to hinder you from what it is that you behind closed doors prayed about. And now that God is moving, you think that the devil and his minions don't see what's taking place? They see. And that's why you can't be trusting everyone with everything that is happening with you. As you are going through this life, learning, growing, changing, you're going to have to safeguard your heart and your mind from those individuals who are not dispensing any real knowledge in your life. And we got mothers and fathers like this. The only time they're interested in you is when they want you to do something for them. And then once you've done whatever it is that they want, they're going to ask for more and they're going to ask for more. And those who are mature, they know how to cut that off. I got to do my homework. I got to go over here to this program. I've got to get this done. I've got to get that done. And when a person feels powerless, a person feels like they can't get certain things done, that's when you're going to have to reach outside of that household or wherever you stay and get some help. Because no one should have to go through all of the stress, unnecessary stress even, that other people will put upon you, all because they don't have a vision, they don't have a mission, they don't have goals, they don't have a strategy for getting anything done. People who don't think big, people who, my mama was this way and so I'm that way. My daddy was this way and so I'm this way. Do you really think that God is going to keep these people around you who are hindering you from what you have asked him to do in your life? They're dropping off. Slowly but surely, they're dropping off. And there are new people at the school, new people at the church, new people wherever you are learning and growing. We're all in this together. We're going to get through this. We're going to make it. We're going to see the finish line. So make sure that you have a plan and you stick to that plan. I don't care what age you are. You should have a plan, a simple statement or just a outline of what you want to do with your life. And you pray and ask the Lord to give you guidance. It is never too late to learn something new. It is never too late to go back to any school you so desire. It is never too late to go to a righteous God, ask forgiveness of sin, ask for his mercy, ask for His direction. So take a moment to pray after this message and know that God is with you every step of the way. Please do check the description box for anything that might be of interest. You've been listening to YouTube NM Enterprise 7. Subscribe today. And also we do welcome donations. Blessings to you.